My day was supposed to be small victories and silence. Maybe fix a shelf, check my stocks, breathe. At 700, the bunker decided to eject the quiet right out of my life. Alarms wail, lights strobe, and the speakers start yelling. Outer walls under attack. High-density infected detected. I run to the monitors and my stomach drops because the feed looks like someone dropped a swarm on the place. Hundreds of evolved infected climbing, smashing, tearing at metal like it's wet paper. The bunker I spent months reinforcing looks like a sandcastle under a storm. I know the math in my head. Stay and fight. Odds go to zero. Move fast. Odds at least stay non-zero. So I grab my pack, hit the hidden switch, and duck into the tunnel. I never thought I'd use this early. At the tunnel's end is the one ridiculous thing I kept for if everything goes wrong. And yeah, everything is wrong. My modified Cybertruck sits like a beast in a coffin. Armored plates, a front-end battering ram, auto guns that snap and track, hospital-grade air filtration, a trunk full of weapons and supplies. I climb in, fingers shaking but focused, flip combat mode, and the thing rumbles like it knows what's coming. The underground gate lifts, and for a second I look back at the bunker, scorched, beet red, a place that gave me shelter and was about to become my grave. Then I slam the gas and shoot out of the ground like a missile. The surface is a horror show. Burnt cars, glass glittering like teeth, and bodies where there should have been people. Infected everywhere, roaming like they own the streets. 5 berserkers step into the road ahead like they're daring me to stop, and I don't even hesitate. I lock onto the biggest one, plant my foot, and the truck meets them like a wall meets a storm. Flesh and limbs explode backward, blood and gore paint the windshield, and for a second, the world is just the sound of engines and the wet slap against metal. I flick the wipers and say, next, because there's no time to think about what we just did. 15 minutes in, and the Cybertruck's nav throws a ping, an encrypted signal. I frown, my hands go instinctively to the console, and for a moment I wonder if the radio finally broke and I'm listening to dead air. Then a voice cuts through the static. If you can hear this, head east. There's a safe zone. The last real humans left. That word, safe, tastes like an echo of the world that was. My brain runs scenarios fast. Trap, miracle, people who are actually alive. I stare at the road, at the miles of broken city ahead, and I choose to believe just enough to move. If it's a trap, the truck is a tank. If it's real, it's everything. Driving east is driving through a museum of a civilization that forgot to leave. Hours pass in a blur of burned intersections and looted supermarkets. I dodge horde after horde. Sometimes I run them over, sometimes I shoot them off the hood, and each time I do it, I feel a tiny piece of myself recalibrate to this new baseline, survival. The sun drops, and the city's ruins take on a weird, soft orange that makes everything look like it's on fire, even when it isn't. My phone battery is a joke, my throat is dry, but the radio keeps that voice in my head, like a promise or a bait. When the signal finally leads me to the coordinates, it's not a cluster of tents or a shabby church. It's a military base with lights still on and gates that slide like they belong in a functioning world. I slow down because nothing about this feels right. The giant doors open and a man in a hazmat suit stands in the threshold, motionless, watching me as if my arrival was the end of a long wait. He doesn't pull a weapon, doesn't shout. He just says, "You finally made it. We've been waiting for you." Those words should have relieved me, but instead my grip tightens because waiting implies planning, and planning implies knowledge of me. I never volunteered. I park, engine still hot, and every instinct screams to keep the truck running. The man takes one step forward, and for the first time since the alarms I realize how tired I am, but there's also a burn behind my eyes that doesn't let the fear win. He signals me to kill the engine. I do. The silence that follows is louder than any alarm. Soldiers in hazmat suits appear from shadows, their faces blank behind visors, and someone radios, "Subject A0119 confirmed." My name? My heart punches into my throat, and I force myself to stay steady because whatever this is, it's bigger than me. They lead me into the base and everything smells like bleach and machines. Lights hum and cameras track my every step. I watch rows of sealed doors and think about how many doors are too many to be a simple safe zone. In a lab corridor, a scientist types at a terminal, and his face is empty, like someone who's practiced detachment. He says aloud, not to me but into the system, "Experiment A019 has achieved third-stage survival. Initiate fourth resurrection cycle." My brain stalls for a beat, then a cold weight settles in my chest because the words fit together into something horrific. They don't just survive people here. They copy them. I try to ask questions, and every answer is neat, clinical, and partial. "You're safe," they tell me, but the word doesn't sound like a promise. It sounds like a classification. They smile, but the smile doesn't reach their eyes. The base hums like a living thing, and in the darkness beneath it, I see a room through glass where dozens of translucent tubes hold floating forms that look like me, or like what I might become on a bad day. A scientist mentions resurrection cycles, like he's reading a grocery list, and I realize the story I thought I was living is being read from someone else's page. I should have run then, should have turned and floored the truck back into the ruined streets. But something holds me there. Curiosity, fear, the naked hope that if I walk into this mystery, I might walk out with answers. They close the heavy door behind me, and the base settles into a clinical quiet. I stare into the camera as if the lens is a crack back to the world, and I say what I should have said hours ago when the alarms first screamed. This isn't over. If anything, it's only just starting.